Shout out Sniper T on the beat.
Tamara to the break of dawn is on the rise, with life on the forefront of the mind. So line for line, you can ride this brain train and you can change your station without even touching the dial. So relax, stay a little bit, but listen for a while. And whether you're bumping this in the whip or in a business fit, it's a meeting you won't want to miss. A meeting for a meal to feed the soul with words for the mind. So sit back, enjoy the ride. Time to take off, it's time to fly. Cause Tamara till the break of dawn is on the rise.
Hey, welcome to the show, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we're just going to go ahead and get into it. So if you're new here, like I said, thank you for tuning in. If you're day 1, 2, 156, 245, whatever day you came in and you just decided to keep listening, I really appreciate it. So let's get it, y'all.
At the time of this recording.
Shout out to 12 Kyle. Man, as I know, and you know, and I know you know, right? I did not drop a solo episode last week, and the only reason I don't feel bad about that is because y'all still got that content on Saturday. So if you didn't check out episode 5 of the Emotional Recovery Podcast, and let's say you're not trying to get all deep into your feelings and that's why you ain't checked it out, you know what I mean? I get it, although I do that every week, so that would be weird, but it was a different type of episode where Eric and I, shout out to him, we just asked each other random questions that the other person did not know what the other person was going to be asking them. And it was a really hilarious and just super fun episode. So that's why I didn't feel bad about the fact that, one, I was not feeling the greatest. It didn't have the best voice at first because allergies was kicking my butt. Y'all, I had to triple down on allergy meds. I already I already had to double down on allergy meds. So I was already taking one in the morning and a different one at night. I don't even know what had happened right? All I know is I had to triple down on I had to triple down on my allergy meds and add a third. And they're all like different ones. So it's not like I'm overdosing on one allergy med. I had to so I already wasn't feeling the greatest. Then work just got really, really busy. And once I hit this certain point in the week, if I haven't recorded this, solos, man, then that plus trying to edit the other episode, I just was like, you know what? They're getting content, right? That's just what y'all want is content. But I'm kind of glad I took that break because then suddenly I spiraled into just grief. And I've known this since, when the girl's dad was killed. And maybe that's what it is. It could be that we're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of that next month. I started thinking about that. Like Mother's Day was this past Sunday. Or not this past Sunday, last week Sunday. And then Father's Day is coming up. And Father's Day, one, that's the, last time the girls saw their dad 10 years ago. And then he was killed 2 days after my birthday, which is next month, June 27th. Holla at your girl. But also, this is my first Father's Day without my bio dad. Now, that's such a weird thing because he and I did not have really a relationship at all. So it's not like, oh, I would have hit him up. Although who knows, maybe I would have, right? Maybe I would have tried. But I don't know. There's just grief comes in different waves. And I had a rough few grief days. And then it's like, I wasn't just grieving people that have passed away, although that was definitely part of it. But it's like sometimes in life you have to grieve when relationships shift and they are no longer the way they were, and you know that they're not going back to that. And I feel like that hurts more with friendships than like breakups. Now, I've been single forever, so really I'm just talking off whatever. But I don't know. I just started even grieving friendships that are just different, and just all of that hit together at the same time. And it was just a rough few days. And it's always interesting because I sometimes don't know what's off, even though I know something's off, right? And then I really just had to like sit with the Lord and just like, what is going on with me? And then like it really took Saturday and Sunday of really just kind of like sitting with him. And what's super dope is I have where my porch in the front or whatever. Yeah, ain't that where all porches are? What am I even talking about? But it's covered, and it was raining last night. And one of the things, well, last night at the time of this recording, but one of the things I really enjoy doing is just sitting and watching the rain. And I haven't really been doing that in like years. I would just not take the time to just sit and pause and do that. Last night I was actually watching a TV show, and once I heard that it was raining, I literally paused that and just turned it off and went outside and just sat. And it was so peaceful. I love the sound of the rain. It just, I don't know, there's just something about it. It puts my soul at peace. Even like I feel more like I want to sleep more when it's raining, but also literally just sitting out there. But I just cried for a long time, like a while. Like you would think somebody just died, how much I was crying. And it's interesting because I've learned in my grief journey that sometimes you just have what I call, I feel like I've said it on here before, just tough grief days where, you know, I used to want to try to rush past that, but no, I've learned that, you know, you're having these feelings for a reason, whatever the feelings may be. And sometimes you just got to sit with them. And that's literally what I had to do for a little bit. On Saturday morning, I did it. And I thought that was all that I needed. But no, I had to sit with my feelings some more yesterday as it was raining. So it was just this very like physical and spiritual cleansing of all the things. And then today's a new day, right? So, you know, the thing about grief is, unfortunately, when it comes to people passing away, those people are not coming back. And even sometimes when we have friendships that shift, sometimes those friendships are not coming back for whatever the reason may be that the relationship shifted. Because some people, as I've talked about on here before, sometimes you do have to kind of cut ties with people. And when you do that, it doesn't negate the time that y'all had together where, you know, that was your person or that was whatever. But I would encourage you, take the time to grieve. It's interesting because when I went through my divorce, I remember I hit this point, I want to say it was like maybe 6 months out or something, where I was grieving. I just didn't know what it was. And I remember talking to my mom because I'm like, why am I sad about this? Like, this doesn't make sense for the reasons that, you know, we divorced. It's not like, oh, I'm happy, like, you know, but it just didn't make sense where I felt sad. But my mom was like, well, you know, this is a death of a dream, a death of the way you thought your life was going to be. And it's no longer like that. And so she put that in perspective. And so she was like, it's okay to grieve. Like, sometimes you just need to know that it's okay to feel the feelings that you're feeling and that you don't have to try to pretend like you don't feel the feelings that you're feeling. Sometimes you need to know that even though, man, maybe that friend is not your friend anymore, and I'm not saying you need to reconnect with that friendship, but sometimes it's okay to sit a day, a few minutes, or however long you need to really like actually grieve that. And I sometimes like try to skip over that part. Like sometimes I'm like, okay, I know this needed to happen. And it's not like I really just be cutting people off. So that's the thing. Like, once I get to a point of actually I'm done with a scenario, even if it's just maybe I'm not done with the person, but maybe I'm just done with the dynamics of the way that things were. Nevertheless, once I get to that point, I don't make these decisions flippantly. I am very much loyal to a fault, and I am very much like, I will try to understand where you're coming from, give you the benefit of the doubt, try to rationalize it, whatever, before like cutting people off. So like, once you get to that point, it's okay to mourn what was. And what will no longer be. You know what I mean? And man, I really had to take some time to just sit with different types of grief over the weekend. And it was interesting. You know, I got some pretty cool revelations like in my time with the Lord. And yeah, today's a new day. So that is my encouragement to you. Like, I'm always going to be an advocate of sit with your feelings, embrace your feelings, be honest with yourself about how you're feeling, why you're feeling that way. If you have, hopefully you do, trusted people in your life that you can talk to. One of the things I love to do is I will send two of my friends long audio messages about different things. And they do it too, so I don't feel bad. But like a friend of mine, I had to send her an audio message because we had kind of talked about some stuff the night before. And then when I sat with the Lord that morning after reading my Bible and kind of got the revelation of like what was going on with my heart. So I sat with him first and cried and did all the things, praying, whatever. But then I did like follow up with her, like, hey, this is the revelation that I got of, you know, whatever, whoop-de-woo. And then, yeah, so like if you have those trusted people in your life that you can talk to about stuff and maybe even help you process. I know for me, I'm an external processor. So if I'm not talking to the Lord, I'm definitely talking to somebody, even if it's sometimes the audio messages, it's interesting because I may start them with, okay, I have this thought, and then like I'm talking it out as I'm going and I'm gaining understanding as I'm talking things out. So that's basically what it means as an external processor. There are people that think about things internally and process it, and they can sum it up in like a sentence. Like I've noticed Eric is kind of that way. Whereas me, on the other hand, I sometimes I'm talking, I'm not going to say all the time, but a lot of the time I'm talking things out and I'm processing it as I'm talking it, because that's how I am able to process it, by like starting to get thoughts out of my head. And so it may be a little bit more long-winded as I'm trying to figure it out, whatever woo. But with that, when you have those safe people in your life that you can talk to about stuff, it is super helpful. So yeah, that is my encouragement. I am, you know, in a better space. I'm also feeling better because I have, like I said, tripled down on my allergy meds. It's actually low-key annoying, but listen, I feel better, you know, and so it just is what it is. I don't know what it is about allergies this year, but they just, and it's not just me. I thought it was just me. I thought I was tripping, but anybody that I've talked to that has allergies, they have been struggling this year as well. So thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. That is what I have for y'all this week. As always, man, make sure you are taking care of yourself mentally. Make sure you're taking care of yourself emotionally. Like, your emotions matter, your feelings matter, like all those things are important. Don't ignore what you are feeling. I'm not saying you should necessarily always act off what you feel, but don't act like what you feel isn't there. Make sure you're taking care of yourself spiritually, take care of yourself physically, be healthy in your relationships. So for me, I kind of had to withdraw a little bit from people. And it's interesting because it's easy to still engage via text or engage via whatever, but I actually spent a lot of time alone this weekend outside of like work or just different engagements that I don't want to say had to be a part of, but that were already scheduled. But outside of that, I had a more open weekend than I have in a while, and I spent a lot of time alone because Kayliana wasn't home. And so that was what was good for me to be healthy in my relationships during a couple of days where I was struggling. And then there are the times that you need to, you know, be around people, and that's what's better. So it's always good to be very in tune with what you need. And I've gotten a lot better at that, where sometimes I just need to be around people, but this was not one of those times. I needed all of the alone time that I had this weekend. But yeah, be healthy in your relationships. I love y'all so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.
Ladies and gents, this concludes transmission. Tune in next time for a whole new edition. Another adventure and mission to share, be heard, and clarify the vision of this whole new world for...